It starts small, a joke that feels a little too sharp. Music, a text left on read for days. A decision made without asking you. You feel it in your gut first, a cold sinking weight. But you swallow it. You smile. You tell yourself you're taking the high road. You tell yourself it doesn't matter. Music, but it does matter. Because disrespect is not an event. It is a process. It is a test. And every time you stay silent, every time you laugh it off, you music are not being nice. You are signing a contract. You are telling the world that your dignity music is negotiable. That you are cheap. That you can be walked on without music consequence. Niccolo Machiavelli, the man who understood the darkest corners of human nature, knew music this centuries ago. He knew that the moment you are seen as weak, you are already conquered. Music, he didn't write The Prince for people who wanted to be liked. He wrote it for people who wanted to survive. If you are tired of being the one who gives more than they get. Music, if you are tired of feeling invisible in a room full of people. Listen closely. We are going to perform a surgery on your music personality. We are going to kill the part of you that begs for approval. And we are going to birth something music else. Something formidable. But first, we must answer the question that haunts you in the middle of the night. Music, the question you are afraid to ask because you already know the answer. Music, why do they do it? And more importantly, why do you let them? There is a psychological music trigger you are pulling every single day that invites them to treat you this way. You are doing it right now. You are doing it with your music posture, your apologies, and your availability. We need to find that trigger, and music, we need to break it. Disrespect is rarely a shout. It is music, a whisper. It begins small, a test. Human beings are efficient music predators. We are constantly scanning our environment for hierarchy. Who is above me? Who is below me? Who can I use? Music, who must I fear? When someone meets you, whether it is a first date, music, a new manager, or an old friend, they are subconsciously testing the fence line of your territory. Music, they lean on the fence. They make a small joke at your expense. They show up 10 minutes late without calling. They interrupt music, your story to tell their own. They are watching, waiting. If the music fence holds, if you correct them with a look, a silence, or a firm boundary, they back off. They classify you as music respect. But if fence leans, if you smile nervously, music, if you say it's okay, don't worry about it. You have just given them permission to invade. Music, Machiavelli observed that men are driven by two principal music impulses, either by love or by fear. In the modern world, we don't need people to fear for their lives. We need them to fear the loss of access to us. When you tolerate a small disrespect, you are training them. You are the architect of your own humiliation. You are teaching them that your time is cheap. Your feelings are irrelevant, and your boundaries are suggestions. Think about the last time you felt small. Maybe it was a meeting. You spoke music and someone talked over you. What did you do? Did you stop? Did you apologize? Did you wait for them to finish? In that moment, you signaled submission. You signaled that their music voice was more important than yours. And the worst part, you felt it. You felt the betrayal of yourself. Music, that sinking feeling in your gut, is not just embarrassment. It is your soul screaming at you for music, abandoning it. Disrespect thrives in the gap between your dignity and your fear. You fear conflict. Music, you fear being seen as difficult. You fear that if you stand up for yourself, music, you will be rejected. So you choose the slow poison of disrespect over the sharp pain of confrontation. Music. But Machiavelli warns, US, war is not avoided. It can only music be postponed to the advantage of others. When you avoid the conflict of music setting a boundary today, you are guaranteeing a war against your self-esteem music tomorrow. And in that war, you are fighting alone. So what do? The standard music advice is weak. Tell them how you feel. Use I statements. No. Music, when you are dealing with someone who disrespects you, You are dealing with a power dynamic. Music, not a therapy session. If you explain your feelings to someone who doesn't respect music, you are handing them ammunition. You are showing them your soft underbelly. You do not explain. You do not complain. You become the music void. Imagine you throw a ball against a wall. It bounces back. You catch it. You throw it again. It's a game. You are engaged. Now imagine you throw that ball into a black abyss. Music, it doesn't bounce back. It doesn't make a sound. It just vanishes. Do you throw another ball? Music, no. You step back. You are unsettled. You are unsure what is in that music darkness. That is the power of non-reaction. When someone insults you, they are expecting a specific script. They expect you to get music angry, which proves they control your emotions. Or they expect you music to retreat, which proves they own your space. When you do neither, you music break the script. You look at them, you hold eye contact, you do not smile, you do not scowl. You simply observe. You let their words hang in the air. You let the silence stretch until it becomes uncomfortable. Music, not for you, for them. Silence is a mirror. In that music silence, their insult reflects back onto them. They hear the pettiness in their own voice. They music see the immaturity of their own behavior. You will see them start to fidget. Music, they will say, "I was just joking," or "Why are you so serious?" They are scrambling. They are trying to get the ball back, but you don't give it to them. Music, you have entered what Machiavelli calls the position of the prince. The prince does not engage in petty skirmishes in the mud. Music, the prince watches from the balcony. This is not about being passive. This is about being strategic. Music, energy is currency. Attention is currency. Why would you pay someone who just tried music to rob you? When you withhold your reaction, you are signaling that their opinion of you does not carry enough weight to move you. You are signaling that you are anchored in something deeper than their validation. This music is the first step to becoming untouchable. You stop feeding the music beast. Machiavelli said, "The fox is necessary to recognize traps." Disrespect is often a trap disguised music as casual conversation. It is the neg from a manipulator, the backhanded compliment. You're actually smart for someone who didn't go to college. Music, you look good. Have you lost weight? If you take the bait, if you say thank you, or if you get defensive, the trap snaps shut. The fox sees the intention behind the words. Music, you must develop cold empathy. Heart empathy is feeling what they feel. Music, it is getting swept up in the emotion. Cold empathy is clinical. Music, it is a surgeon looking at a tumor. You understand why they are doing it, but you are not infected music by it. Why is this person trying to lower my status? Usually, it is because they feel their own status music is threatened. The secure do not need to belittle. Only the fragile need to stand on someone else's throat music to feel tall. When you see the disrespect for what it is, a symptom of their weakness, music not a reflection of your worth, it loses its sting. It becomes pathetic. You stop thinking, "Music, what is wrong with me?" And you start thinking, "What is broken?" In them, this shift in perspective, music is everything. It takes you out of the victim role and puts you in the analyst role. Music, the fox knows that you cannot fight every battle. If you roar at every dog that barks, music, you will lose your voice. You must choose where to engage. Sometimes, the most savage move is to agree with them. They say, "Music, you're so lazy." You say, "I know. It's a luxury." They say, "You're weird." You say, "Absolutely." This is a technique called music fogging. You become like fog. If you throw a stone at a rock, it music chips. If you throw a stone at fog, it passes right through. You offer no resistance. Music, you give them nothing to push against. By agreeing with the insult, or rather by refusing to be insulted by music, you disarm them completely. You take the weapon out of their hand, music, and you drop it on the floor. It confuses them. It breaks their frame. Music, they want to fight. You give them nothing. And in that nothingness, Music you win, but sometimes silence is not enough. Sometimes the music wolf is at the door, and the lock is breaking. Machiavelli knew that while the fox is music cunning, the lion is necessary to terrify. There are moments when you must show your music teeth, not to bite necessarily, but to remind them that you can. This is where music most people fail. They confuse aggression with strength. They music scream, they threaten, they make a scene. That is not strength. That is music a tantrum. True aggression is controlled. It is precise. It is a surgical strike. When a boundary is crossed music repeatedly, silence is no longer an option. Now you must enact a consequence. But here is the Machiavellian key. Music, the consequence must be action. Not words. You do not say, music, if you do that again, I will leave. You just leave. You do not say, stop interrupting me. You stop speaking entirely. Look at them, wait for the music to finish, and then turn your attention to someone else. You cut them out of the conversation. Music, you remove your attention. You remove your presence. Machiavelli wrote, music men ought either to be well treated or crushed. In a modern context, crushed means they lose access to the music privilege of your time. If you have a friend who constantly flakes on you, you don't write a long paragraph about how it hurts your feelings. You stop music inviting them. When they finally reach out, you are busy. Not fake, busy. Actually busy building a life that doesn't depend on them. You effectively music kill the version of the relationship where they get to disrespect you. This is painful. It requires you to be willing to lose people. And that is why so many of you are stuck. Music, you are not willing to walk away. You are holding on to the scraps of a relationship because you are terrified of the void. But you must understand music this. You cannot negotiate respect with a terrorist. And anyone who holds your self-worth music hostage is a terrorist to your soul. If you are not willing to walk away, you have no leverage. Music none. The lion does not bluff. The lion does not negotiate music, its own existence. The lion marks its territory. And if you cross it, there is a music price to pay. That price is your absence. Scarcity creates music value. Diamonds are valuable because they are rare. Oxygen is free. But if I take it away from you for 2 minutes, you will trade everything you own, music, for a breath. Machiavelli understood that familiarity breeds music contempt. If you are always available, always present, always replying instantly, music, your value drops. You become part of the furniture. When music, you have been disrespected, your immediate instinct is often to try harder to win them back, to prove you are worthy. Music, to fix it, do the opposite, withdraw. This is not the silent treatment. The silent treatment music is manipulative. It is done to provoke a reaction. I am talking about music, strategic withdrawal. This is done for your protection and recalibration. Music, you pull your energy back into your own center. You stop initiating. Music, you stop sharing your inner world. You become a service, polite, professional, but impenetrable. You treat them like a stranger. There is a coldness music to this, a necessary coldness. When you withdraw your warmth, they feel the chill. They realize that the warmth was a gift, music not a right. And suddenly the dynamic shifts. They start to pursue you. Is everything okay? Music, you've been quiet lately. Do not rush back in. Let them sit in the cold. Let them realize that your presence is something that must be earned. This requires you to have a life outside music of them. You must have a mission, a purpose, a kingdom of your own. If your entire world revolves around one person, music a partner, a boss, a parent, you are vulnerable. You music are a satellite, orbiting their planet. If they push you away, you drift into dark space. Music, but if you are the sun, if you have your own gravity, then their disrespect does not move you. You simply burn on, build your fortress, build your skills, build your body, build your bank account, build your mind. When you know that you can survive and music thrive without them, you become dangerous, you become free. Music, And a free person is impossible to disrespect because a free person can always leave. Now we go deeper into the dark room of the mind. We have talked about how to handle the external world, but the music external world is just a reflection of the internal one. The brutal music truth, the Machiavellian truth is that you are being disrespected because on some level you believe you deserve it. You music have a disrespect baseline. It is a thermostat setting in your subconscious. If you were raised in a chaotic home, or if you have a history of trauma, your thermostat is set to tolerance. You are comfortable with a certain level of abuse. It feels familiar. It feels like home. When someone treats you well, you get suspicious. You sabotage it. When someone treats you poorly, you lean in. You try music to fix them. You have to reset the thermostat. You have to build what the Stoics called the inner citadel, a music fortress inside your mind that no one can enter without your permission. Music this begins with how you talk to yourself. If you disrespect yourself, if you music break promises to yourself, if you eat garbage, if you procrastinate, if you look in the mirror and think insults. Music, why would you expect anyone else to treat you differently? You are broadcasting your self-worth on a frequency that everyone can hear. When you walk into a room, your micro-expressions, music, your tone of voice, the way you hold space, it all tells a story. Music is the story. Please like me, or is the story I am here to kill. Music disrespect. You must first kill the weak version of yourself, the version that needs validation like a drug. Music, you must fast from validation. Stop asking people what they think. Stop fishing for compliments. Stop apologizing for taking music up space. Start keeping promises to yourself. If you say you are going to the gym, you music go. If you say you are going to work, you work. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, music, you lay a brick in the inner citadel. You build self-trust. And when you trust yourself, when you respect yourself, other people's disrespect, music feels disgusting. It doesn't feel familiar anymore. It feels like a violation. And you reject music, it instantly, reflexively, like touching a hot stove. You don't have to try to set boundaries. Your existence is the boundary. Music, people can smell self-respect. It has a scent. It smells like danger. It smells like someone who cannot be manipulated. Music, and interestingly, it attracts right kind of people. People who want to meet you at your level. Not music people who want to drag you down to theirs. Let's look at the practical application. Tomorrow morning, you walk